Judith Maria and welcome to SG Global News. From Mel Gibson's sequel to The Passion of Christ receiving a production date to NFL quarterback Baker Mayfield discussing his faith in Jesus on a major sports podcast, we have many stories to cover. The Resurrection of the Christ, the sequel to the 2004 film The Passion of Christ, now has a production date. Manuela Cassiamani, CEO of Cinecittà Studios in Rome, revealed in an interview with an Italian news outlet that filming will begin in Italy this August.
The sequel to Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ, titled The Resurrection of the Christ, will begin filming this August. The announcement was made by Manuela Cassiamani, CEO of Cinecittà Studios in Rome, during an interview with the Italian financial outlet Il Sole 24 Ore. The film will likely be shot at Cinecittà Studios, a sprawling 99-acre facility and the largest film studio in Europe. Speaking to Il Sole 24 Ore, Cassiamani confirmed, quote, "I can confirm that the next film, directed by Mel Gibson, produced by Icon Productions, The Resurrection of the Christ, will be shot entirely at Cinecittà starting in August and will require many sound stages and extensive set constructions," end quote. In a previous interview with podcaster Joe Rogan, Mel Gibson revealed that he co-wrote the film script with his brother Donald Gibson and screenwriter Randall Wallace over a 7-year period. He also hinted that the movie will open with the fall of the angels in the realm of Sheol and plans to employ a non-linear narrative in this ambitious project. Jim Caviezel is reportedly set to reprise his role as Jesus, while Maya Morgenstern and Francisco De Vito are expected to return as Mary and Peter, respectively. The 2004 film, The Passion of the Christ, which depicted the final 12 hours of Jesus' life, was a massive commercial success, grossing approximately $622 million at the global box office. It remains the highest-grossing independent film of all time. The sequel, which is expected to hit theaters next Easter, may very well surpass the record-breaking success of its predecessor.
Earlier this month, Papua New Guinea amended its constitution to officially declare itself a Christian nation. The revised preamble now acknowledges God the Father, Jesus Christ the Son, and Holy Spirit as the creator and sustainer of the universe and the source of power and authority of the people of Papua New Guinea. However, the decision has faced criticism from some who view the amendment as unnecessary.
On March 12th, Papua New Guinea, an island nation off the coast of Australia, amended its constitution to declare its identity as a Christian country, making it the youngest Christian nation in the world. According to the Pew Research Center, 13 nations officially identify as Christian, and with this constitutional amendment, Papua New Guinea has become the 14th. The amendment inserted the following words into the preamble: "We acknowledge and declare God the Father, Jesus Christ the Son, and the Holy Spirit as our creator and sustainer of the entire universe and the source of our powers and authorities delegated to the people and all persons within the geographical jurisdiction of Papua New Guinea." This change was passed by an overwhelming majority with 80 votes in favor and 4 against. Located in the southwestern Pacific Ocean, Papua New Guinea occupies the eastern half of the island of New Guinea. Christianity is the dominant religion in this culturally and linguistically diverse country. Over 95% of the population identify as Christian, with 26% affiliated with the Catholic Church. The remainder practice indigenous spiritual customs, Islam, Hinduism, and other faiths. The constitutional amendment will not affect the rights of religious minorities, as Article 45, which protects freedom of conscience, thought, and religion, remains unchanged. The amendment also reflects Christianity as part of the nation's identity in the 5th goal of its national goals and directive principles. Additionally, the Bible is now recognized as one of the national symbols under Section 3 of the Constitution. The amendment, which has been in development since 2022, incorporated input from communities, churches, provincial and local leaders, and civil society. Prime Minister James Marape, a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, expressed joy at the amendment's passage, stating that it reflects the significant role Christian churches have played in the nation's development. He also acknowledged the church's contribution to providing essential services in areas where the government is absent. However, not everyone is in favor of this amendment, least of all the Catholic leadership of the country. Father Giorgio Lissini, a former Secretary General of Papua New Guinea's Bishops' Conference, worries that the constitutional amendment will soon be forgotten and that the country will become more disillusioned, angry, and hungry due to rising living costs and decreasing employment opportunities. In an op-ed in Asia News, Father Lissini emphasized the need to find a balance between traditional customs and values, modern technology and infrastructure, and core Christian values, lest the country plunge deeper into poverty and despair.
Several pro-life organizations are uploading the Trump administration's plan to freeze tens of millions of dollars in federal taxpayer funds that were partially designated for Planned Parenthood. Officials are considering an immediate freeze of $27.5 million from the Department of Health and Human Services Title X Family Planning Services Program, which would affect Planned Parenthood and other unnamed organizations. Pro-life organizations are applauding the Trump administration's effort to freeze tens of millions of dollars in federal taxpayer funds previously allocated to Planned Parenthood. Officials are weighing an immediate freeze of $286 million from the Department of Health and Human Services Title X Family Planning Services Program, impacting Planned Parenthood and other abortion providers. The funds were part of a larger allocation by Congress for the Title X program for the current fiscal year. If enacted, the freeze would block approximately $20 million that was set to support Planned Parenthood affiliates. Although federal law prohibits direct taxpayer funding for most abortions, it permits funds to go to abortion clinics as long as the money is used for other services. According to a 2023 report by Government Accountability Office, this freeze would not eliminate all federal funding for Planned Parenthood, which received more than $1.75 billion between 2019 and 2021. While President Trump has delivered several victories for the pro-life movement, including nominating 3 Supreme Court justices who voted to overturn Roe v. Wade and granting pardons to pro-life activists, he has also faced criticism. He has opposed new federal restrictions on abortion and hesitated to use executive power to limit access to the abortion pill and signed an executive order aiming to lowering IVF costs. These actions have disappointed some pro-life supporters. Severe wildfires have devastated South Korea's southeastern region, marking the country's worst blaze in history since it began on March 21st. At least 26 people confirmed dead and over 20 others injured. The largest of the fires, which started in GIBSON, has already scorched more than 36,000 hectares, marking it as the largest single forest fire in the nation's history. South Korea is grappling with its most destructive wildfire to date as multiple fires continue to rage across the southeastern region. The country has already witnessed more than 20 separate blazes with at least 26 people confirmed dead and over 20 others injured. Numerous buildings have been destroyed in the fire's path. Among the victims was a pilot of a firefighting helicopter who tragically lost his life when his aircraft crashed into the mountainous terrain of GIBSON. The intense winds, which have been a major challenge for firefighting efforts, made it particularly hazardous for aerial operations. In the fire's early stages, gusts reached speeds of up to 15 meters per second, contributing to frequent fire spotting when embers carried by the wind ignite new fires over vast distances, sometimes up to 2 kilometers away. The largest of the fires, which started in GIBSON, has already scorched more than 36,000 hectares, marking it as the largest single forest fire in the nation's history. Approximately 37,000 people have been displaced by the ongoing fires, which are still burning in several areas. Among the many casualties of the disaster, the fire completely destroyed a 1300-year-old temple in GIBSON city. Fortunately, many cultural relics from the temple were safely removed and transported to secure locations before the flames could reach them. Wildfires are an unusual and rare occurrence in South Korea, which has contributed to the severity and deadly deadly nature of this incident. Lee Han-kyung, the chief of the Disaster and Safety Division, attributed the wildfire's rapid spread to extreme dryness and powerful winds. He warned that the fire highlights the dire consequences of the ongoing climate crisis. He further added that the wildfire has once again exposed the harsh reality of climate crisis unlike anything Korea has ever experienced. As of Wednesday morning, the Korea Forest Service reported that firefighters are battling at least 5 active wildfires across the country. In response to the crisis, the South Korean military has mobilized approximately 5,000 service members and deployed 146 helicopters to support firefighting efforts alongside thousands of professional firefighters. Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Baker Mayfield discussed his faith journey during an appearance on the Sports Spectrum podcast. He revealed that it was only after hitting rock bottom that he truly came to appreciate Jesus Christ. Now, he is dedicated to sharing his faith with the next generation of athletes. Baker Mayfield, the quarterback of Tampa Bay Buccaneers, first overall pick in 2018 NFL Draft and two-time Pro Bowl selection, shared that he had to hit rock bottom before truly appreciating Jesus Christ. Now, he is committed to passing on the faith to the next generation of athletes. The 29-year-old athlete opened up about his faith journey during an appearance on the Sports Spectrum podcast. Mayfield recalled that as a child, his understanding of Christianity was simple: do good deeds and be a good person. However, attending college at the University of Oklahoma marked a pivotal moment in his faith journey where he met Pastor Adam Starling. It was through this relationship that Mayfield realized he didn't have to be perfect and he didn't have to have it all figured out. His connection with God grew stronger after joining the NFL. Mayfield reflected that God taught him a lesson, likely referencing the challenges he faced after being released as a starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns in 2022, only to later serve as a backup for 2 other teams before signing with Tampa Bay in 2023. Mayfield described the Christian journey as constant work, emphasizing that one must always remain vigilant, saying, quote, "You have to continue to work because the enemy is out to get you," end quote. He also praised Tampa, stating, "God's timing is perfect," adding that the club feels like home because he had built the foundation on Jesus. That's all for today. Until we meet again, God bless and thank you.